Hello everybody, and welcome to Ice Bear Tarot, where we forego our personal opinion and simply tell you what's in the cards for current events, unsolved mysteries, and other random curiosities. I'm your host and reader, Ice Bear, and I've been reading tarot for over 30 years. In fact, the deck that I will be using most frequently on this show is a deck that I've owned since I was in high school. Although for today's reading, I'm actually using a new deck that I picked up recently. It is the Tarot of the Cat People. Tarot of the Cat People. And here comes a cat, to get in on the action. Hey, come on. Dude, you're messing up my program. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on. No. No. No, 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 no. Come on. Down. Go, sir. Anyway. As of the making of this video, this is a new channel, and so I thought why not try a new deck and see how it goes, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I could get a full house and a bunch of people could die, right? I mean, standard joke. Alright, so we're going to do this reading with a cat right in the middle of the layout, and he'll move when he feels like moving. So, the topic for today's video is Kash Patel as the director of the FBI. How will he do in the role? What kinds of challenges is he going to face, and how well is he going to address them? And what does it all mean for those of us who live in the United States? Now, I know what you're thinking. This cat is actually going to be doing the reading and not the polar bear. But no, seriously. So yeah, Kash Patel was confirmed as the director of the FBI a couple weeks ago, so you're probably wondering, is this really the most relevant topic to be doing a reading on when there's all sorts of other more current drama going on in the world between Trump's tariffs and the war in Ukraine and the war in the Middle East and God knows what else? And to that, I would simply say, patience, Grasshopper, we will get to all of that. Besides, out of all of Trump's nominees, Kash Patel was one of the more controversial ones, and I believe that his confirmation process took longer than with any of the others, well, except for maybe RFK Jr., but, I could be wrong about that. And Patel is going to be in charge of the largest and most powerful law enforcement organization in the country for at least the next 4 years, unless something goes horribly wrong. And also, he was the most recent controversial nominee. Linda McMahon got confirmed as Secretary of Education recently with barely a peep from anyone. So we're going to open the channel with this, and then we're going to move on to covering more timely topics in a more timely fashion. And because I am a polar bear for the people, if there are any topics in particular that you'd like to see covered, you can always make a request down in the comments and I'll put it in the queue. And if you like this sort of thing, you can support the channel and signal that you'd like me to keep at it by hitting that like button and subscribing. Cost you nothing, but at least means a lot to both me and the mysterious algorithm. So, without further ado, let's shuffle them a couple more times and get to it. Kash Patel as the director of the FBI. Alright. Alright, here we go. And also, in case you're wondering, this is a fairly standard tarot spread. It's actually not the one that I typically use, but I'm trying out different things. If this will actually end up liking this, I'll do more of it. Otherwise, I'll go back to my usual spread, which is actually 15 cards. So we'll see what we got. All right. Let's see. Let's go. All right. First of all, Kash Patel as the individual and the situation that he's in right now. So just so you can see that is the Two of Swords reversed. And that is kind of the current situation, where we have a lack of clarity, we have difficult choices, and choices that are being made without an understanding of what's really going on. We have someone that is being pulled in different directions, whether, in this case, it could be loyalty to the people, loyalty to the law, loyalty to the Constitution, loyalty to certain political parties and elements within those political parties. let's say it, it's loyalty to Trump or loyalty to the Constitution. That's really the big question around Kash Patel. And really, we've even seen this recently with that email that went out from Doge, asking all the federal employees to say, oh, what are the 5 things you did last week? Patel actually told the FBI to ignore it, which is kind of interesting because that is essentially open defiance of the Trump-Musk regime. So he's kind of torn a little bit, it would seem. So then next we have his immediate environment, his immediate influence. This is the Four of Cups. I'll show you that. And that's a sense of disillusionment and apathy, if you will. This could be people within the FBI feeling disenchanted, disengaged, disillusioned with Patel as the in a leadership role. This could be, potentially Patel himself kind of feeling like, yeah, okay, maybe this is not going to be all I thought it was going to be. I think it's more likely to be, essentially the bureau that he's stepping into, where people aren't really sure what to expect from his leadership, and they're not really feeling it. It's also, Patel kind of saying, yeah, whatever, like the American people saying, hey, here's some transparency for you, and Patel's like, that's all right, I don't need that. Don't care. So, we'll kind of see how that shakes out. All right, next up we have the Ten of Cups, which is right here. And that is the goal. What's kind of going on here? What are they going for? This is actually kind of an idealistic utopian vision outcome card, which in the context of Project 2025 and all of the ideas behind that, it kind of makes sense. It's someone's dream of ideological alignment, and maybe it's not necessarily the entire country's ideological alignment, but if you look at the people that Trump has picked for his cabinet, they are all kind of aligned with Trumpism. Like it or hate it, he didn't pick people who were going to disagree with him. And you can say that's a good thing, you can say that's a bad thing, but when Trump was selecting his cabinet, and Patel is no exception, he was looking for people that were going to fall in line. And that's kind of what he got. But, that doesn't mean that this all has a happy ending for anyone, because it really is giving more of a manufactured reality kind of vibe. You can have ideological alignment in pursuit of a delusion. You can have ideological alignment in pursuit of noble goals. It kind of goes both ways. If you think about some of Trump's other nominees, right? Again, like him or hate him, some of them flat out lied in their confirmation hearings. And most notably, that's RFK Jr., when he talked about what he said in his confirmation hearings about vaccines and what he's saying now, they're not the same. I mean, let's face it, they're not. Like it or hate it, that's the reality. And so that's really what we have here. Their version of reality may not be everyone else's version of reality, but they're pushing towards it nonetheless. Moving on, we have the distant past, which is this guy here, the Page of Wands reversed. You can see that. This represents false starts. A history of plans that have failed, of history of in this reversed aspect. It's a history of kind of not getting anywhere. Also really sort of points to someone who's not ready. They're not qualified. I mean, it's not, again, whether you like them or hate them, there's a certain level of qualification that goes into being the head of the FBI. And, if you look back to Bill Barr, who said that, Patel was unqualified, I think something about over his dead body. Oh, hey, we have a visitor. Hey. No. There was someone else who said that they wouldn't hire Patel for more or less any kind of leadership role because he didn't have the experience, he didn't have the temperament, he wasn't qualified. It's kind of like Pete Hegseth doesn't have the background to be Secretary of Defense. Putting aside issues of his character and whatever you think about that, he never led any major organization, and so he really has no business being the head of the Defense Department. So yeah, if we look at this, it's just the Patel he's in over his head, and it doesn't look like it's going to turn out very well for him, because he's going to be faced with situations that he just doesn't really know how to deal with. And that was his distant past, and now it's kind of going to come to the forefront. All right, and so next we have the Six of Pentacles. We're going to show that right here. Show it to our feline helper. Hopefully he stays over there. Hey, no, sir. No, sir, please don't do that. Anyway, Six of Pentacles. And so, again, this is the recent past, and it's charity, but not. But what I mean by that is it's charity with strings attached, and giving and receiving where there's a clear power dynamic involved. Maybe some sort of imbalance, some sort of favoritism, maybe some sort of quid pro quo, like we may or may not have seen in the Eric Adams Mayor of New York case. Again, who knows? Trying to stick to the facts here. We also see some selective generosity and, by extension, selective punishment, which kind of falls in line with what they were trying to do with all the FBI agents who worked on the January 6th investigations. Those folks were just doing their job. They were doing what was assigned to them without regard to political ideology, and then all of a sudden Patel and Bondi and the administration is like, we want all these names. It's like, all right, well, what are you going to do with those? Given the existing record, it doesn't really look good. It looks like there's things happening based on politics and personal animus, and, that's not what the FBI is supposed to be doing. And let's face it, in the past, Patel has said, like to Steve Bannon, that he was interested in going after political enemies. He has an enemies list. Yeah, that's what it was called. And so it's like people say, oh, Patel's going to come in and he's going to drain the swamp. Well, this says Patel's going to just fill up a private pool. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. We have this next one here, the near future, which is the Seven of Wands. And so here we kind of see a very defensive, combative posture. Patel's going to be fighting an uphill battle. He is likely going to have to defend everything, and he's going to be kind of set upon from all sides. You're going to have the left, who are not going to like the things that he does for one reason or another, and you might have some elements on the right that don't like what he's doing either. Because again, going back to the whole Doge email, where actually, I'm not going to call it Doge. I think I'm going to call it Doggy. But the Doggy email, where he resisted. He said no. He said, hey, agents, don't bother with this, right? So, there's going to be critics of Patel from the left, from the right, from the center, from all over the place, and he's constantly going to be defending himself. He's going to probably go tinfoil hat and say that everyone's out to get him, and maybe they will be, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you. It's going to be kind of rough for Mr. Patel. And that's right around the corner. We're talking near future. This could easily happen this year. This one this is interesting. So this is, more or less representing Patel himself. And, hey, look, Kash Patel is the devil. Don't blame me. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just telling you what the cards say. Remember, I am an honest polar bear. How could you not trust this face? Anyway, yes, so we have the devil here. And in this position, in this reading, the devil represents kind of everything that you would expect from the stereotypical devil, demon, Satan figure. You got deception, you've got power hungriness, you've got backstabbing, you've got manipulation, temptation, all of the things that, again, that you would associate with the actual, the devil. That's Patel. There's really kind of nothing good to be taken out of this, whether you like him or not. The other thing that we kind of see here is that Patel is bound by chains of his own making. For better or worse, he has chained himself to the Trump train, the Project 2025 train, and that's going to go where it's going to go. His past comments are probably going to come back to haunt him. It's probably going to come back and reflect negatively on the FBI. It's likely to have negative outcomes in general for everyone involved. This is a sneaky guy, not someone with integrity that you would really want to be the head of the nation's largest law enforcement organization. That's just, I'm sorry, that's don't blame me, blame the cards. All right, so let's move on. this we have the Eight of Wands reversed, right here. And this is current influences, environment, things of that nature. And here we see some delay, we see some miscommunication, chaotic environment in general. Think about red tape, think about public outrage, think about media firestorms and all of those things that are going to swirl around Patel as he steps into this role and as he starts to do stuff. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if 6 months from now we see a newspaper headline that reads, FBI in turmoil again. You know, I mean, Patel's been fairly quiet since actually getting confirmed, other than the whole doggy email thing, but I would expect that that's not going to last. I mean, one thing that we can say about the Trump administration is that they are not patient. I would expect Patel to do all kinds of things kind of in the same sort of haphazard, rapid-fire way that Trump himself has done. Whether or not it makes news coverage in the same way that, you know, new executive orders and such do, I guess we'll see. You know, when you've got tariffs being applied and rescinded and changed around and all that, and the war in Ukraine and the war in the Middle East, you know, maybe people aren't going to be paying as much attention to things going on at the FBI, but stuff's going to move quickly and be chaotic, and nobody's going to like it. So, anyway, moving on. Next we have the Ten of Wands reversed. That's this guy right here. And that's, you know, kind of Patel's hopes and fears and things of that nature, sort of what's going on in that sense. And this looks like burnout, being overwhelmed. Also, there's a desire to offload responsibility and delegate things to somebody else and be like, hey, you know what, this is not my problem. You know, Patel might be secretly afraid that this role is too much for him, that, you know, he's got imposter syndrome and maybe he's not going to measure up, and either he's going to get scapegoated for something that wasn't his fault, or he's going to implode in some other direction. This card also, it points to a desire, as I said before, to kind of offload responsibility and delegate and, you know, really kind of make things other people's problems. You know, I mean, that could be subpoenas that he doesn't want to comply with. It could be prosecutions that people are recommending that he undertake that he doesn't want to pursue. You know, I mean, it could be, you know, I don't know the guy. I mean, you know, maybe he gets lazy and just decides it's like, you know, I don't want to do that. But again, I mean, it looks like he's going to get burned out pretty quick. And even though I said earlier that he's probably going to be the leader of the FBI for the next 4 years, maybe not. Either he's going to piss Trump off, or he's going to just do a bad job, and maybe they're going to get fed up with him, or, you know, he's going to be out. We'll see. But it's not looking good for Mr. Patel. And so, as we wrap it up, we have the Seven of Swords reversed, and this is the final outcome. If that card were upright, then it would indicate deception and betrayal, and, you know, we have kind of seen some of that in the rest of the reading, but in a reversed form, a lot of times that means secrets coming out and things coming to light. That could happen. I mean, it could happen from any of a number of ways. It could happen from whistleblowers. It could happen from Patel himself deciding that he's got more profit motive or more profit potential to spill the beans on his own. I don't know that he would do that. Everything that I've seen from him talking to Congress and some of his past speeches, he definitely has an element of a guy that's out for himself, but he also has a definite element of being loyal to the cause. And so it's hard for me to see him being the one to leak a bunch of shit. But, you know, I mean, stranger things have happened. I don't think anyone believed that Michael Cohen, you know, who was Trump's fixer, was going to come out with all kinds of stuff that he did. But, you know, I mean, this really, it's really not a good outcome, because whether this comes from Patel, or it comes from whistleblowers, or it comes from the press, or wherever it comes from, whatever kind of shady backroom dealings either have happened or might happen in the future, looks like it's going to come out, and it's going to be a big black eye to Patel and potentially some other folks. So, all I can say is, strap in, and it's going to be a bumpy ride. Stock up on popcorn and stock up on ammo. So, just go over it really quickly one more time if anybody wants to do their own interpretation. This is the standard Celtic Cross reading. We began with the Two of Swords, reversed. Then we had the Four of Cups. Then we have the Ten of Cups. We have the Page of Wands reversed. The Six of Pentacles. the Seven of Wands. Then we have the Devil. Ooh, scary. We have the Eight of Wands reversed, right here. The Ten of Wands reversed. And we finish up with the Seven of Swords reversed, right there. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's reading. If you found this entertaining, enjoyable, educational, infuriating, or, otherwise you got something out of it, I hope you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if there are any topics that you'd like to see covered in future readings, I'd be happy to do so. Just drop a comment down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Ice Bear, out.